watching Vnews Bulletin. From and now the headlines as usual. Prime Minister works with Vettel Group. ASEAN 55th founding anniversary marked in Japan. And later on, Germany temporarily recognizes Vietnam's new passport version. Prime Minister Phạm Minh Chính on August 16th asked the Vettel military industry and telecoms group Vettel to make greater efforts to contribute further to promoting socio-economic development and building an independent, self-reliant economy with active and effective international integration. The Prime Minister made the request during a working session with leaders of the group after visiting the firm's high-tech park. According to Vettel Chairman and General Director thăm, the group has been operating in over 10 countries worldwide with nearly 50,000 officers, soldiers, and staff members. It was the most influential Vietnamese enterprise in terms of innovation in South Asia and Southeast Asia in 2021. In 2022, it also ranked 18th among the world's most valuable telecommunications firms with a brand value of $8.7 billion. Appreciating Viettel's achievements in recent times, Prime Minister Chính said the group's successes are a testament to the successful formation and development of state-owned enterprises during the đổi mới process. The government leader asked Vettel to better implement its commitment to creative vision for people and pioneering in the creation of digital society. Chính also stressed the need for the firm to focus on developing a high-tech defense industrial complex and a civil equipment manufacturing industry towards turning Vietnam into a developed industrial country. The Vietnam Embassy in Japan on August 16th chaired a ceremony celebrating the 55th founding anniversary of the Association of Southeast Asian Nations. In his opening speech, Vietnamese Ambassador Vũ Hồng Nam, who is the current rotating chair of the ASEAN Committee in Tokyo, ACT, said, ASEAN is now one of the most dynamic and successful regional organizations in the world, 0.9% this year and 5.2% in 2023. The group's cooperation with its foreign partners has been increasingly deepened toward effectiveness. Echoing the view, Cambodian Ambassador Thuy Ri stressed ASEAN has transformed from a loose mechanism into a closely cohesive and rules-based organization. He also pointed out security challenges facing the bloc in the time to come, notably the Myanmar situation and issues related to the EC, Korean Peninsula, and Russia-Ukraine conflict. After the separation, the participating diplomats attended the ACT's 311th meeting. Germany will temporarily recognize Vietnam's new passport version with information about holders' place of birth added in the appendix. According to a diplomatic note, the German Federal Foreign Office sent to the Vietnamese embassy on August 15th.
That also means Germany will grant visas on the new passports, supplemented with birthplace information, and allow their holders to enter this country. Chu Tuấn Đức, Minister Counselor of the Embassy of Vietnam, said the German authorities also hope Vietnam will take measures for facilitating and assuring safety for travel between the two countries, and that the two sides will keep exchanging information about measures Vietnam will carry out in the time ahead.
To create favorable conditions for Vietnamese citizens, the embassy is still working to add birthplace information to their new passports. It is free of charge.
Earlier, replying to questions from the Vietnam News Agency, the German Federal Foreign Office and Federal Department of Home Affairs has said authorities of Germany are actively working and examining the new passport version of Vietnam, affirming that like Vietnam, Germany also pays great attention to the facilitation and safety for travel between the two countries.
Vietnam will use 4 more vaccines in the expanded immunization program for the 2021 to 2030 period under resolution of the government on the roadmap to increase the diversity of vaccines in the program signed by Deputy Prime Minister Vũ Đức Đam on August 15th.
The fight against rotavirus from 2022, pneumococcal disease from 2025, cervical cancer from 2026, and seasonal flu from 2030. The resolution clearly states the scope and number of beneficiaries as proposed by the Ministry of Health, in the case of mobilizing domestic aid and support or supplementing with the state budget. The Ministry might decide whether this roadmap can be implemented sooner. The government requested the Ministry of Health to coordinate with relevant ministries and agencies to implement the roadmap to increase the number of vaccines and the expanded immunization program for the 2022-2030 period in accordance with regulations.
Vietnam's logistics industry is developing strongly thanks to the growth of the e-commerce industry, according to Sunbiz Vietnam.
A survey by Savos Vietnam showed that Vietnam's logistics industry is enjoying significant growth due to the development of the national economy and the manufacturing and e-commerce sectors. According to a report on the Emerging Markets Logistics Index released earlier this year by Agility, a leading logistics and transportation service provider in 2022, Vietnam ranks 11th among the world's top 50 emerging markets, only behind Indonesia, Malaysia, and Thailand in Southeast Asia. Vietnam's transport and logistics market is estimated to grow at a compound annual rate of 7% in the 2021-2026 period.
9 agricultural products have recorded an export turnover of over $1 billion since the beginning of this year, heard a seminar on July 26.
They comprised coffee, rubber, cashew nuts, vegetables and fruit, rice, shellfish, pangasius, shrimp, wood products and materials in service of production, according to the Customs Control and Supervision Department under the General Department of Customs. Vietnam has earned $201 billion from exports so far this year, up 17.3% year-on-year, of which nearly $28 billion came from agriculture, a rise of 13.9%. The department said the simplified customs procedures have facilitated exports, particularly agro-fishery products, adding that up to 80% of agricultural products have gone through green zone established to speed up customs clearance procedures.
The cashew industry should focus on markets in which Vietnam has signed trade deals to take advantage of preferential tariffs and expand exports as inflation has pushed up the prices of raw materials and forced people to tighten spending, according to the Vietnam Cashew Association.
Cashew exports were estimated at over 290,000 tons, worth $1.76 billion in January-July, dropping by 10.5% in volume and more than 12% in values against the same period last year. Cashew exports are forecast to continue to struggle in the third quarter due to rising inflation in big economies and forces people to tighten spending. The Vietnam Cashew Association also said it's essential to focus on improving the quality of raw materials and exported cashew products to meet the requirements of the import markets. It added the cashew industry should strengthen exports to markets with free trade agreement with Vietnam to make the most of preferential import tariffs.
After a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, the Tuyen Citadel Festival will again be held in the northern mountainous province of Tuyen Quang this year. One of the highlights of the festival is a procession of giant mid-autumn lanterns.
For more than a month now, Hoàng Ngọc Tùng, a local resident in Tân Quang Ward, has set aside his daily task to join with other residents in making a mid-autumn lantern. The lantern is based on the legend of the first ancestors of the Vietnamese people, Lạc Long Quân and Âu Cơ. Local residents hope to educate children about love of their homeland and remembering their place of origin.
We have been working on the lantern for more than 20 days and have 10 more days to finish it. The weather is quite bad recently, and if it is nice, we will finish on time.
Tuyên Quang province boasts about 40 festivals every year, but the Tuyên Citadel festival is unique, with hundreds of giant mid-autumn lanterns in procession. The lanterns are associated with history, folk tales, fairy tales, and legends, and a unique feature of the province, which has recently become a new and alluring destination for tourists who love discovery and exploration.
After a 2-year hiatus due to the COVID-19 pandemic, when we heard that the festival would be held this year, we became quite excited. From children to the elderly, everyone hopes for a bright and sparkling Mid-Autumn Festival.
It has been confirmed by the Vietnam Guinness Book of Records as having the most unique and largest lanterns in Vietnam. Many resident sharers have already completed lanterns for the procession. The highlight of this year's festival will be the participation of many foreign localities.
This year's festival will see the participation of localities in the Republics of Korea, Japan, Laos, and Thailand. Tuyên Quang has also opened a lantern street and pedestrian mall, which are expected to attract tourists to the festival.
With the theme, Sparkling Colors of Tuyên Citadel Night Festival, the festival and its ceremony to receive a certificate recognizing the practice of Than singing of Tây, Nung, and Thai ethnic minority in Vietnam as an intangible cultural heritage of humanity will take place on September the 4th.
Books and the art of bookbinding around the world were discussed by anti-book collector Dư Thanh Khiêm at a program held recently in Ho Chi Minh City. Starting with a passion for collecting old books after his shelter in Belgium, Mr. Dư Thanh Khiêm started bookbinding for 12 years at an academy in Brussels. He has continued his studies since and become a master of the art. Bookbinding involves beautifying and preserving the value of books and began in Egypt. 100-year-old Bibles bound in Coptic sewing have remained undamaged over the years, and this type of binding is taught at bookbinding schools in Europe. Mr. Khiêm said the art of bookbinding seems to have disappeared in Vietnam. He expressed a hope that young Vietnamese would learn the art and work to preserve the nation's precious book heritage.
In recent years, I have met a number of young people who are fond of and passionate about the art of bookbinding. This makes me very happy.
The art of preserving books reflects the cultural level of a community. It's therefore necessary to pay more attention to the art of bookbinding. And that's wrap up our news bulletin. Thanks for watching, and see you next time.